Very basic logo and slogan appears with a woodland backdrop. Coming up on this amateur travel video production, we travel through some woods with some questionable camera angles. We see some animals and rescue a caterpillar from the middle of the road. The travellers get lost but turn it into an amusing scene, or so they think. A helpful map with GPS and what 3 words information appears, but it's displayed as if it was created in 5 minutes in Microsoft Paint. This destination is located close to Delamere and is just off the A54 road. The car park is rather small, so we advise getting here early, but do note the car park is open from 8 AM to 5 PM, so plan accordingly. We look upon the start of the woodland walk, with the camera positioned what looks to be in some debris, looking at the initial steps leading down the trail. The travellers walk past, going down the steps, oblivious to the camera clearly in view. The camera now seems to have been placed in the middle of the steps, positioned at such an awkward angle. The travellers and their dog zoom past the camera and venture towards the little walk bridge at the bottom of the steps. They're going to enjoy the run back for that camera. The travellers are now walking around a fenced field with some shaky camera work that makes me a little seasick. We're not even at the sea. We see a herd of cows taking a nap in the fields in front of us. We act as if it's the most amazing thing that we've ever seen. We look upon my ugly bearded mug with my tinted glasses as I talk about going through gates, as if ensuring gates are shut behind you is rocket science. We've now rejoined us travelling back into the woods, provided with zooming camera movement. There's no leaves on the trees here, so envision a horror movie instead of a beautiful woodland scene. I'm sure nobody will get lost in here. We are now travelling down a narrow path with barren trees on each side. There's a few with leaves lining the bottom of it all, but a giant puddle of mud in our way too. Imagine a cold spring day. Oh Lord, he's back looking at us, telling us about the sun and the importance of finding good walks such as these. It's a rather good point being made. There are many hidden walks all around us in the UK. There's likely better ways than these videos to find them, but if feeling lazy, I'm sure you can get some ideas from here or thousands on a map. This is where I advise you to look at our playlist for inspiration, or you can open up Google Maps. I know which one I would choose. Backdrop is the desolate tree, barren of all leaves, as our travellers walk on by, forgetting the cameras on the floor once again. The dog is adorable though. Ballo, the Finnish lapun, darts around, smelling everything in his path, unable to decide on which direction to go next. We are now walking down a narrow woodland trail. There's a few green leaves on the floor. What a wondrous occurrence. Oh, I jump scare you again. I wonder what fruits of wisdom I have in store for you now. Ah yes, I'm telling you about my obsession with woodland areas where trees make sort of archways. I'm sure I won't mention this multiple times in every woodland walk video I'm in. I will say this, trees providing shade from the sun is useful, or it would be if there was any leaves on these trees to shelter us. Oh, wouldn't it be great if I tripped during the filming? That'll teach me to walk and talk. We're back to shooting footage behind Vallo and Gresty, now as they continue their way through the woods. Vallo seems very cross. He's been put on his lead to stop him smelling everything and anything. Ooh, a bit of shaky cam. Clearly the slight incline through the woods is too much for me to handle, or I'm distracted by the tree archways again. Oh look, we've abandoned our camera on the floor again, on a horrid angle, thinking it will look amazing as we walk past the camera, all relaxed and proud of oneself. Oh, this scene lasts way too long, but the tension of not knowing if the camera is going to fall is nail-biting. Alas, the camera doesn't fall and we are rewarded with my ugly mug again. Ah yes, spinning the fact you got lost on a walk into an inspirational tale, going off on an adventure. I do seem to do this on all our videos, but it's never any less true that these surprise journeys can bring some amazing experiences. I do give some good advice for future travels. Maybe this is inspiration to find better videos than this one, or continue on to see if this exploration pans out, or is there more failure ahead. I pan around the woods, making myself dizzy in the process, but I reveal many pathways in this area leading to many possible adventures, or simply more ways to get lost. You decide. We've now suddenly ended up in a field with some cows, fenced off with what seems to be a piece of string. What could possibly go wrong here, besides the shaky cam going on? We come to a crossroads with a very helpful sign that shows the route to the next destination or alternative routes. As per usual, we decide not to follow the signs and go in the opposite direction. I might be foreshadowing here, but I think we're going to get lost. We are now walking along a narrow country road. Valor was on lead to ensure his safety, but at least there's some colour here, with the leaves being on the hedges. We now look into a field that has several donkeys in it, but from this distance, they could be anything. We travel back down the road, and we are presented with a scene in which Gresty saves a caterpillar from the middle of the road by placing it gently into the grass, while Valo sniffs the area around him, oblivious to the heroics going on next to him. The beautiful heroic scene of the rescue is interrupted by my face. This isn't an inspirational or heroic face at all. Oh look, I'm walking and talking again. The shaky cam and the rattling isn't something to be inspired by, but to be mocked. Do keep safety in mind if and when travelling down a road. Try to make yourself visible and tuck away best you can when traffic is coming. The camera is placed on the floor beside the road, but this time Valo sees the camera and gives it a good sniff. We travel down the road into the distance, with me giving Valo a little fuss as we walk onwards. Oh, by some great surprise we managed to get ourselves turned around and lost, but we did end up in a lovely little village we could explore, then head back en route. We rejoin the travel back into the woods at Grestys Waste, welcomed by the familiar shaky cam as I make my way down the slope and onwards to the car park. We are again presented with the bridge and never-ending steps we started this journey on. For one last time, the camera is abandoned and at an angle that really isn't flattering at all. This scene goes a little long, a part of me just wants to rush myself and get to those bloopers so much quicker. Ah yes, the moment we've all been waiting for, the bloopers, as we all should not take life too serious. I explain how when taking footage I get a little behind Gresty and Valo. By a little, I mean I have to pick up all the equipment and run just to keep up. We try to figure out where we are in relation to the actual route. I advise that Google Maps is your best friend in this situation, or simply returning back the way you came. All the while this is going on, Valo is entranced by the smells and sights of this quaint little village. Valo nicely poses for a photo. I make fun of the fact that there is such a rarity, as he can be such a diva and a pain to take photos of. Thank you for tolerating this to the bitter end. Valo and I really appreciate it. I learned very early on my voice is boring and monotoned, so I had to add a little humour to make this journey tolerable for everyone. If you've liked this content, maybe click the like button to show appreciation. If you would like more content and are a glutton for punishment, then consider subscribing to the channel and maybe visit Valo's Instagram. The details are in the description. But most of all, please leave a comment. Your feedback and opinions mean the world to me, but be constructive and gentle. I will try to respond as much as possible. We wish you all the best on your travels in whatever shape or form they take.